What's happening, y'all? Derrick here from CrewFX. Just wanted to show y'all this right quick, right? This is the first ever webinar for the first ever class that I taught the crew strategy to, right? This is within 50 seconds of the first ever webinar. Watch what I call here, y'all. And check out the dates. All right, now. Shout out if you say never forget me. I'ma have to sneak up on these niggas. I'ma creep up on these niggas that brought me black as they left me. All right, now, so this is what I got for the beginning of this week. It looked like the Aussie is picking up strength, and it looks like the US dollar, although it's overall weak, it looks like it may be gaining some strength this week, only to do the retracements for the pairs that that's like, let's just say if like AU, I'm expecting some retracement before AU continues to go to the upside, right? Right now, let's go to the actual charts right now. The date, AU. Let's look at it on the H4. Price was here on the 28th. I called this retracement when price was here. Let's look at that on the H1. All of this retracement I called when price was here. When it showed no indications, no anything showing that it was ready to go to the downside as far as where price was, that's when it created a higher high. When price was here, I called all of this retracement. It just recently broke structure right here, so I like what I'm market at right now. I call movements like this a lot, and the thing is, it more so amazes me now, because now that I'm recording webinars and I'm seeing myself make these calls, it's like it's again, as I tell all of my students, the strategy itself, it never fails. It unlocks the language of the market. The market tells us what it's about to do before it does it. Now this one, this was UsdCad. Now we were going over this pair in a class, and a student asked me to show them supply and demand zones on a bearish market, and UsdCad is overall bearish. So the time frame was on the H1 when he asked me that, and we all know that how we trade, we're H4 H1 analysis. Now, but he asked me this when the time frame was on the H1, so I just started drawing the H1 supply and demand zones, right? And I made a prediction once I drew the H1 supply and demand zones. But I want you to watch how I say, hold on, wait, let me go back into the H4. I didn't do the H4. And once I did that, I updated my prediction. And watch this. Really watch this. Check this out. I guess it's going to take a second. Let me kind of fast forward a little bit as I'm doing this to when I'm talking, making a prediction. right, now also with that, keep in mind, going to happen in this zone. The head and shoulders, the pressure cooker is going to happen in this zone. Now look how I'm giving that prediction right there, based on the H1. Now watch how I watch this.
Thanks, man.
Watch this.
Appreciate.
All right, now also with that, keep in mind that was on the H1. Wow. All right, now I'm correcting myself, saying, hold on, let me also go back and draw this on the H4. Let me just fast forward a little bit while So now this is me finding supply and demand zones, and watch this. Very important what you're looking at right now. Watch this. Or, now, again, remember when I drew this on the H1 earlier, right? I said that what we look for is going to happen right here. This was before I had my H4 supply and demands drawn, right? So I don't see a supply and demand zone happening right here. So I would actually wait for price to come up here before I look for an entry. I don't see a supply and demand zone on the H4. So I knew at that point price was ready to retrace. And also all of my students, of course, y'all can see right here how price is telling us that it wants to push up to the upside, which would be a retracement on this pair because it's overall bearish. We have a bearish bias for it. But when price was here, I was making a prediction that it wanted to go up first when price was here. Allow price to retrace first. Look at the date. Right, now check this out. Let's go into the actual markets. UsdCad. This is what price was when I was making that prediction, right here. Look how price retraced, went into our zones. That's when it started. That's when the first selling opportunities even presented itself, after it went into our zones. Remember, I called that when price was here. Again, look at the date. Listen, y'all, the strategy itself never fails. It's not me, it's not Derrick that's telling the market what to do. The market itself is telling me what it's going to do. Even before it does it, even if it's a retracement, the market tells me what it's about to do. And it tells me that through the strategy itself. It's my understanding of the strategy. It translates the language of the markets to me. We able to predict, we forecast, we call our analysis, our studying, everything that we do forecasting. We are able to predict this. Really, I don't like the word predict. I like forecast. We're able to forecast this. And it is the strategy, y'all. Look how I just called both of those moves. And I do this a lot. This was just a couple times that I just caught going over some webinars. But I do this a lot. And again, it is the strategy. Makahaya ping pong.